So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Apple iPhone 17 unboxing and first impressions. Now, I went with the black color. They do have that new blush pink color. That one's going to be nice for the ladies, I think. Overall, it could be nice for anybody who really likes the blush and pink as well. But I'm going with I'm going with this black color. Pretty simple. I went with the white 16E last year, and I actually traded that in for this one because they're basically the same phone. I talked about it in a previous video, but this one does have some of the things I really did not like about the 16E. Let's go ahead and peel off these tabs. Of course, Apple doesn't really throw the specs on the box. You just kind of see Apple logo, IMEI, so they could scan you out of the store and be on your way. So we'll go ahead and open this up, and you'll see there is the iPhone 17E. And let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, I do like this black color. It's definitely very sleek. I think I enjoy this more than the white, simply because it looks kind of stealthy. You can see right there, we do have the single camera housing. And I do have to say that I do like single camera housings. I think they look extremely minimal. They look extremely nice. And I think for people who just want a basic, simple phone, it actually looks better than some of these massive like camera designs you'll see on some other phones on the market. Over here on the right side, you're going to see yourself the power button, antenna line up there at the top, antenna line down here at the bottom, and shaped just like a typical iPhone. You'll see right there we do have ourselves the action button as well as the volume rockers. Let's go ahead and peel this off, and you'll see there we are. And at the bottom, we do have ourselves USB-C. Also, you have like a similar look there to other iPhones at the bottom, just like the 17. You have about the same amount of holes for microphone and speaker. So from the bottom, kind of looks exactly the same. Let's go ahead and boot this thing up. And while we're doing that, we'll take a look at what comes inside the box of your brand new iPhone 17e. So you'll see right here, we do have our braided USB-C to USB-C. It is white, just like all of the other Apple products out there. So that's pretty nice. It would be kind of nice if it matched the phone color. I'd like to see that on all iPhones. That just kind of would give it a unique feel, but it is a white cable, and if it's going to get pretty dirty if you get that dirty, so you'll definitely see that. And then inside here, one of the smallest warranty cards and things of all time. So they're really trying to get down to almost nothing on the box. But you can see here we are into the iPhone 17e. I'm just going to go ahead and breeze through this. There's no point in showing anything. If I see anything interesting, I will point that out though in the setup process. So one thing you're actually going to hear a lot of Apple people talk about the 17e is that this is like the cheapest phone you're going to get with Apple Intelligence. I do want to mention this because I noticed when I was in the store picking this up, I keep hearing this amongst the employees in there. They keep mentioning these phones have Apple Intelligence. These phones have this feature, this intelligence feature. So this is kind of what they're pushing right now. And you're going to see, you're going to get all these features on the 17e, including live translation, visual intelligence, which can be done via up here. We'll show it in a minute. You can't do it on camera control because there's no camera control on here, but you'll have cleanup photos, writing tools, and Genmoji. Also, you'll be able to summarize notifications and turn on priority summaries as well for this with Apple Intelligence. Visual intelligence are showing you is within Control Center because this phone doesn't get the camera control button, which I assume it might in the future, the next E models, but this one doesn't have it. You'll see right there, action button. That is customizable. So this is actually a nice feature to have on their budget phone, basically, or their cheapest version of the iPhone 17, which you can go ahead and customize like so. So that's a pretty cool touch. Also, Siri is updated for the new ones, and you do get the emergency SOS features that you'll find in the higher tier phones. So some of the core things that make iPhone great are still found here. And for those of you who want a brand new phone with a warranty, a 1-year warranty, or you want to do Apple Care, and you don't want to deal with a used phone, this can be a great option for those folks. So we're now inside here, and the first thing I always like to do when I get a new phone is check two things. Number one, storage. How much storage is iOS taking out of the box? You'll see 24.97 gigs. Another great thing about this phone is that they up the storage for the same price. So in an economy where we're talking about the storage now, other brands are starting to charge more for storage, passing on to customers. Apple comes here with 256 gigs, ups the storage on their base tier, and you get it for the same price as last year's 16E. So I would feel a little bit burned if I just recently got a 16E, because now at the base you're getting 256 gigs. And iOS, you can see right there, only took 25 gigs out of the box. Now, if we scroll down here, the next thing I want to do is take a look at the wallpapers. So let's go ahead and add a new one, and I want to check out the iPhone 17e's wallpapers. You'll see them right there on the box, but usually each phone gets its own set of wallpapers, and you'll see there's the collections right there. So it's going to probably have just 3 because there's 3 different colors. So there's the black, that's going to come on the white phone out of the box, and there's the soft pink for the pink phone. Now, one thing I like about the black and the white iPhones is that you get these like minimal colors, so you can put basically any wallpaper, any case, and it kind of goes pretty well with black or white phones. So the pink one, probably not going to look very good with the black wallpaper. Maybe okay with the white, but you're going to probably want to throw that pink wallpaper on there for the pink version of this phone. So I'm going to go ahead and set up that one right there, since we are talking about the 17E. It did have like the regular iOS wallpaper on there. And I want to talk about a couple other things in this first impressions video. One, looking at the software, I have to say, you know, I do talk a lot about ProMotion, but this is pretty smooth. My brain is actually not too upset with this. I think mostly because this chip is very fast and iOS is pretty polished with the, you know, liquid glass and all this. This is looking pretty good. I think I could get on just fine with this phone daily. I don't think it would irritate me too much, but I do want to see them eventually go to the ProMotion. I still don't think it's great to have that at this price, but still, you know, it's okay. Mostly because I think the people who are buying this phone are not techie fans. You know, they're not like over the top, got to have the latest and greatest. And even if they are, maybe they're in a situation where that's not in their budget at this time, but this phone is. So this is a good phone for the current state of the economy, I would say. A lot of people are probably going to like picking this up. This is a great time to bring something like this. And the 6.1 inch size. If you miss this size and you think the 6.3s are a tad too big, or you don't really love Dynamic Island, you still have a notch on this phone. That's one of the things I don't like about this phone, though. The notch does make this phone feel a bit like an older iPhone for sure, because they've had that since the iPhone 10. So I think this is going to be the last E version with a notch. We'll probably see the iPhone E of next year get the better Dynamic Island feature. Some people don't like it, though, so it really doesn't matter, I think, for the people buying this. Another thing I think that's pretty good value with this is that while you don't get multiple cameras, the base camera is actually really strong on here, and the video quality is likely going to beat a lot of Android phones on the market. So this is going to be a really strong camera offering for those of you who just need basic video and photography things for your phone. And I would go as far as to say you could probably get more done than just basic, because you can do 4K 60. You can do 4K 24, which is more of a cinematic look. And while you're not going to be able to have all those raw modes and stuff like that, this is definitely good enough to get you started on a YouTube channel, get you started on social media. And it does have enough power with the Apple A19 chip in here to go ahead and edit video. And there's plenty of video editing apps on the market. Another thing I'm seeing right away here on my first impressions is I like the screen calibration. The colors of this screen look very well tuned, very accurate. So iPhone displays are usually pretty good, but I'm really liking the color tones. They look very, very clear. The display looks clear, and it looks like the colors are very easy on the eyes. I do like this quite a bit. So this is a good display, even though it's not the 120 hertz. It's a really well calibrated display. I think you'll like that about this phone. Now, when we go on the battery, we ain't got nothing on here. It's the first day, so let's see. We might never see this again. 0 cycle counts. But this phone has 4,005 milliamp hour battery, so I think it's going to be a pretty good battery champ right here. And this iPhone 17e also does have 8 gigs of RAM, so it should be pretty well sorted in speed for iOS. I think it's going to be just fine. On the front, you will miss out on those higher tier versions of the camera, so that's definitely something you're going to miss out on. But it still comes out a little bit wide, and the photos do look pretty good still. So Apple definitely didn't put out no junk here. While it definitely seems like a waste of money for people who have Pro options already, but for those of you who don't, this could be a really good option. Like for those of you coming from a 13, a 14, or maybe even a 15, and you're just not trying to upgrade to 17 or a 17 Pro, you might just want to go with this option. I also think this could be a really good stealthy option for somebody who wants to keep their phone game minimal. They're tired of all the distractions. They want a very simple phone and they don't want to put a ton of apps on it. They're trying to do minimalism and stuff like that. I think this could be a good iPhone option for setting that up. It definitely has that minimal feel, and especially in this black color option. So let me know what you think of that down below. But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about here in the first impressions video. It feels pretty light. It feels pretty nice. It feels like an iPhone. It definitely does. It definitely doesn't feel like no cheap device, but you can see right here, compared to the iPhone 17, I don't have that turned on right now at the moment, but compared to the iPhone 17, you could pay a little bit more and get a lot more with the iPhone 17. So if you care about getting a lot more, I would say skip this one and go straight to the 17. Comparatively to the 17 Pro, you're going to pay significantly more for a 17 Pro, but that is a significantly more powerful device in pretty much every way, shape, and form. But if you like a lighter device and you don't need all this extra features, you might still want a 17E, because the 17E is a lot lighter than the 17 Pro and should have similar battery life with its, well, maybe not similar, but definitely pretty good battery life with its large size and simple setup. This phone actually reminds me quite a bit of my iPhone Air because it has a single camera and it's also black. But the Air in person just feels like $1,000,000. But the Air actually has a smaller battery life, so that's something to think about right there. But it has a single flash over there. It looks like the Air has a little bit of a bigger flash, but these kind of look similar. And in person, you know, the 17E definitely looks pretty nice on shelf, so I wasn't too upset with it. So I'm going to do some speed tests, some comparisons with this phone going forward. Let me know your thoughts on it. Are you excited about the 17E? Are you not? Stay tuned. I'll do a few more videos on this. I'm probably not going to make a ton on this because it's a pretty simple phone to understand. But for those of you who want to see a couple speed tests, I might do it against some of the more premium iPhones to see how it actually stacks up. So stay tuned for that. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you on the next one. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.